Now we are going to do manual deployment of static web application. So you may ask, why are you doing the manual deployment of a static web application in Docker module? Do you so so you may get the doubt. So the reason behind this is I want to show you the manual deployment so that I can explain, I can show you the each step that we follow in deploying a static web application manually, and we will note down all the activities or steps that we have taken in deploying that application manually. Then same steps we will write it as a commands inside a Docker file, and we'll create a Docker file and we'll deploy that application. Got it? Got it? This is how I can prove that a Docker file is nothing but a set of instructions. That's it. It's that simple. You should not bog your mind with bloody different kind of definitions. You should not be worried, and you should not be gone mad with lot of definitions that are coming around from internet and all the social media apps and what LinkedIn everywhere. If you see, there are a lot of definitions you will find. No, you should not care about those things. A Docker file is simply a set of instructions to do something. So that's what we're going to prove here. First, we'll do the manual deployment first. So let me open as usual our sticky note, and this is example 6, manual deployment. Done. We'll begin. First step in this is login, setting up EC2 instance or anything, setting up EC2 instance or provisioning any VM, whatever it may be. That is done. We have done it. We have our EC2 instance, and we have installed Ubuntu in this. Okay, we have our server ready. Okay, we have our virtual machine ready. So now the second step is to get your the next thing is to get your source code there. Okay, so here I'm gonna use a sample website that you also can download from 2plate. So here we have to get the source code from the 2plate. Okay, now to download the 2plate, what all tools are required to download the source code from 2plate website? What all tools are required? First thing is wget. So I will install wget first. To do this, I need a wget. So I will install wget tool, and then we'll get a zip file. To unzip that, I need unzip. Okay, so once you unzip, you will have all your source code in your server. Now the third step is to copy all the and the third step is to now to run this application, to expose this application as a to the external world. You need some service. You need some service to serve this application to the external world. For that, we are going to use, as it is a Ubuntu, I am going to use and Ubuntu, and that to HTML CSS specific static web application, I will use Apache 2. So then I will install Apache 2 service. That's it. So our source code is ready and our service is also ready. Okay, so then what I will do is I will copy all the source code and paste it into the var www html. So that's where we have to paste our source code. That's where we have to deploy our source code, so that this can be exposed to the external world by the Apache 2 service. So once you pasted it, now it's time to start our service, enable our service. So once you start and enable your service, the Apache 2 starts running, and once it starts running, then anybody can external world with public IP of our instance, our server can access that. So the last step is to start and enable Apache 2 service. Okay, so let's do one by one. So let me check. Anyway, my EC2 instance is ready. I have done it before. Anyway, you also know. I will log into that instance directly. Okay, so with this, our first step is ready, and that too mine is Ubuntu, so no issue at all. So now second step, we have to get the source code from the template. Okay, for this what I'm gonna do is I will get into the browser. Okay, I'll click here only and www.template. Go to the template. Anything is fine. I'll go with yeah, anyone would do fine. The first one only. So now I have to download that. To download this, I need to get a URL. So for that, what I will do is I will use a small hack. Okay, I will click on F12 and open DevTools. The DevTools has been opened. Now let me scroll this side and scroll up. Let me extend it and let me scroll up and click on download. And now let me scroll down to find the download up. See here, you can see that cleanwork.zip, and click on that file and you go to the headers and you copy the URL. This is the request URL. You copy this request URL. Oh, wait. Exactly, copy this request URL. Okay, copy, done. So now the URL has been copied, so I will keep it here. Okay, so now our URL is ready, but to download that we need a tool, we need a utility, GNU utility. So how do you do that? So now I am gonna install our utilities. So it is apt update apt update is done. Now I have to install wget. Okay, I will install apt install wget option y. So wget has been installed successfully. Brilliant. Now let me clear the screen, and where I am in, okay, cd, it is in this thing, root. I will get into home, ls, ubuntu. Yeah, here I will open I'll create a directory mkdir and man deployment. That's a manual deployment, and cd man deployment. And here I'm gonna download the zip file using wget. So wget, and come here and copy this link and paste it here. So it's downloading a cleanwork.zip. Let me check now. ls, you see that? So but what I want is, I want a source code in it. I want the code which is there inside it. How can I get it? You tell me, how can I get it? It's a zipped file. How can I open it? So then I need one more utility, that is unzip utility. Okay, to unzip that I need unzip utility. So I will install unzip utility now. apt install unzip option y. So unzip is getting installed. It's done. So now let us unzip that ls, and it's there. So now let me unzip the directory. So unzip, and it's 2132, and click OK. That's it. It's been unzipped. Let me check ls. Let me do it. You see that this has been unzipped here. So now let me enter into that cd 2132. Okay, now ls, you have all the files here. That's it. So till now we have done 2 steps. We have successfully completed 2 steps. So getting the source code from the toPlate and downloading it and unzipping it and entering into the unzipped source code directory. Both are done. So second step is done. So your source code is ready. So now what's left now? It's time to install Apache 2 service, the main important element. So I would say now again apt update, then apt, okay, let me clear the screen first. Apt install Apache 2 option y. Enter. So Apache 2 is being installed. So that means our service is being installed. You can see that installation of Apache 2 is successful. So our service is ready. So you have your, let me get to this. Yeah, you have your source code and you have your service installed. Now it's time to copy all the source code and paste it into the directory where it will host an application. This is called the hosting directory of Apache 2 service. Apache, every service will have a certain hosting directories. You have to place your application in that hosting directory only. So now I'm gonna paste my all the contents of the application in hosting directory. Okay, so ls, this is my directory. Inside that, this is my source code. I have about this HTML. Okay, contact.html, that is one page. Index.html, this is another page. And whatever images that will be shown on the interface, all are placed here. And styling templates are here. And these are other templates, about.html, coming soon.html, and services.html, all. Okay, and a bit of JavaScript. So this is the complete source code of our application. Now this should be placed in the hosting directory of the service. Now let me check. what is there inside the hosting directory at this moment. So cd var dub. You see that HTML. So let's get into that also. cd HTML. So this is our hosting directory of the Apache 2 service. What is there in that? You have a default index.html. Let's cat it and see what's there. So default index.html has some page. So anyway, it has a default index.html. So that's the reason what we will do is we will take the public IP of our server and we will open it in a browser and we'll see what we're gonna get. Instance is here. So let me take the public IP and copy here and enter. Yes, this is Apache 2 Ubuntu default page. It's default page. Okay, it's not the actual it's a default page, but whichever application you want to host, you should place it in that location, then only it can be hosted. Okay, so now I'll do a little bit of modifications to this default page and we'll change. So vim and index.html. So it started from here. This is the head, meta, style, Apache 2, body. Okay, this is CSS. There is a lot of CSS. That's brilliant. Then let's come to the body. The CSS tags are placed in this is in place CSS. Yeah, here the body has come. So let me. So this is Apache default page, correct? Apache 2 Ubuntu default page, and it works. I will type. Yes, it is working. This is the default welcome page used to test the correct. Yeah, rest all I'll keep same. Yeah, rest all let it be same. I just want to do some modification. I just want to show it. That's it. Nothing else. Or else we will add a heading also. We will add our heading. So here what I'm gonna do is, yeah, welcome to the manual deployment with Sharon. So now let me close this, save it and quit it. So now let's get into our browser and see. Let's refresh it. Yes, it's working. The name has been missed. Let me check what's the mistake there. Okay. Vim.index. Oh, okay, that's okay. Welcome to the Imlac. That's it. You see that? Welcome to the Imlac my YouTube channel, and it's working. So this is a default page. Now exactly in this directory, where is that? Yeah, exactly in this directory I have to replace this content with the my content. So my content, where it is, cd home Ubuntu and mandip. Okay, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? Q exclamation mark. Okay, you get lost from me. Oh, okay. Okay, cd home Ubuntu mandep ls here and 2132. So this is my content. This is my source code. Now I have to place this source code into host directory, the hosting directory of the Apache 2 service. So now what I'm gonna do is I will say copy and option R recursively everything from this present working directory to /var dub html. Yes, now let me get into the var dub html and ls. You see, all the source code has been copied here. So this step is also done. So copying all the source code and paste it into the hosting directory of Apache 2 service is done. So now what left? Now it's time to start and enable the Apache 2 server. By default, after installation, it will get started and enabled, but just as a safety purpose, so we just want to make sure it is started and running. So that's the reason we will give the command. So systemctl start Apache 2 service. So then systemctl enable Apache 2 service. See, it's been enabled properly, because now we have put our customized application. Now we should be very careful. We should make sure that the service is started and enabled. So now let me cross check systemctl status and Apache 2. You see that it's active and it's running. Now no problem at all. Now let's get into the browser and see what magic is going to happen. Tin, 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 ting. Okay, you see that a website has been hosted. See that? Like it? Do you like it? It's good one. Yeah, it's nice website. So we have manually deployed an application and hosted that web application in our Ubuntu server using Apache 2 service. It's successful. So let me cross this also. Yes. So you can see that I will refresh it one more time, but still it, and with public IP you can give this public IP to anybody if it is elastic IP. If it is elastic IP, if it is elastic public IP, you can give it to anybody, and anybody can access your application that you have deployed in your server. So this is how manual deployment works. So this is in Ubuntu. Now if you want to do a similar kind of deployment in CentOS, how will you do that? I will show you. To do the similar kind of deployment in CentOS, so this is what. The first step is setting up either Vagrant Mission if it is in your personal computer, or take the EC2 instance, or any other cloud provider's virtual machine. And then go for CentOS 7. CentOS 7 AMI if it is EC2 instance. Then first step, similar, install wget and then unzip. But this time, as it is a CentOS, for CentOS we are using YUM. That's the package management tool. That's the package management tool or repository. So that's the reason we can't use Apache 2. So Apache 2 won't be there in YUM package repository. You will find only HTTPD. So if you want to host a web application inside the CentOS server, you have only one option, that is HTTPD. Apache 2 doesn't work. Similarly, HTTPD doesn't work for Ubuntu. For Ubuntu, it is yes, for Ubuntu it is what? For Ubuntu it is Apache 2. For CentOS it is HTTPD service that we use to host a web application. So now after that installation of wget, because we have to download the source code and then unzip it so that we can access the source code and we can look into the source code and we'll find the source code. Then we will install the HTTPD. This is what the service, it hosts our application. Then this is the process of downloading, then unzipping this thing, then copy everything from here and paste it in the hosting directory or host directory. You see that hosting directory, and once you host it, then it's time to start your HTTPD service and enable the HTTPD service and take your public IP and with port 80 and put it in the browser, and you should be able to see your application should be running up and running. So the procedure remains same, but the package management tool changes. So I hope you got how to do the manual deployment in CentOS also. So with this we have done manual deployment of web application in CentOS as well as Ubuntu. So the agenda for this, the motive to do this is to see the manual steps what we have done. So we have, let me summarize that. This is what we have done: setting up the EC2 instance, or setting up the server first, provisioning a server, that's Ubuntu. Then we have to get the source code from the template. For that we need wget and unzip and a URL. Then after that you need to install Apache 2, then copy all the source code from your directory, unzipped directory, to the hosting directory. That's where HTML, and finally start and enable Apache 2 service. That's it. Your application will be up and running. So these are the manual steps. Now in our next example we are gonna do the same thing using Docker. More fun and excitement is loading.